Wherever you're watching from around the world, the UK, the Americas, Asia, Africa or Australia, welcome to Melbourne and to Telstra Dome. This is the Hyundai A-League Grand Final 2007. Two clubs from two states who have as intense a rivalry as any in the country, Victoria and South Australia. It's Melbourne Victory versus Adelaide United. The title of Champions of Australia is the prize. Well, this is a rivalry that ignited back in October when Adelaide coach John Kosmina grabbed Melbourne's Kevin Muscat around the throat, and it positively combusted in December when Robbie Bayic and Grant Brebner received red cards at Hindmarsh. Melbourne and Sydney may be the glamour game of the A-League, but as one reporter quipped this week, this fixture is the stuff of it. Well, it's equally hot off the field today in Melbourne, temperatures nudging 38 degrees. The roof is partially closed to give the players some shade, and this has definitely been the hottest ticket in town this week. All available seats sold within 2 hours of going on sale. FFA officials admitting this game may even have filled the 96,000 capacity MCG down the road as well. Quick check on the two-team lineups. Melbourne in a 4-4-2 shape, they're unchanged. That's thanks to Grant Brebner passing a late fitness test. Christian Sarkis therefore drops down to the bench. Adrian Layer is fine as well after his midweek jaunt up into Asia. Mark Burns misses out altogether. Adelaide a 4-4-2 as well, although they normally play a diamond in midfield. We'll see how that pans out. Matthew Kemp is the only change, of course. He's suspended. Greg Owens plays at left-back. It's thought by Kosmina that he offers more in an attacking sense than either Adam Van Dommel or Aaron Golding. Jason Spaniolo is on the bench. And talking of the bench, these are the Melbourne replacements. Eugene Galekovic, the reserve goalkeeper, Christian Sarkis, Alessandro, the Brazilian, James Robinson, the young English striker, and Lee Broxham, who's a midfielder. The Adelaide bench, Robbie Bayic, Christian Rees, Aaron Golding, the aforementioned Jason Spaniolo, and Bruce Gitta. Referee today, as he was last year in the grand final, is Mark Shield of Brisbane, and in front of 56,000, we're all set for the off. Well, this is where it all began in season 2 of the A-League when Melbourne beat Adelaide 2-0 just down the road at Olympic Park. This is where it will end tonight in the cauldron that is the Telstra Dome, and of course the Heats may have a factor to play, especially as Adelaide United had such a tough encounter last weekend.
Well, it could certainly play a role, but I think the way the two sides set themselves up, very interesting. Greg Owens preferred from Adam Van Dommel in the left-back position. I think that's because with their system, Melbourne 4-4-2, the Brazilian Fred starts on the right-hand side, but he comes and drifts behind the front two strikers and opens up a bit of a laneway, if you want, down that right-hand or left-hand side for Adelaide United. So I think that's why Greg Owens starts. I think it's a good move from John Kosmina.
Now this is Nathan Burns running at pace, taking on Simon Story. And almost in behind for a moment. Goal kick is the first decision Mark Shield makes. Approaching the 20-minute mark. Deadlock still to be broken. Maybe this is the chance. Fred through. Archie Thompson! Goal! Ball's over the line. Mark Shield has signalled the goal. And Archie Thompson, the man who never scored against Adelaide, puts that statistic right on the big stage.
Well, the referee's assistant flagged it straight away. Archie Thompson with the outside of his right boot. It hits the post. He was well found by Fred. What a great first touch. That's what sets up the goal. Adelaide fell asleep. Costanzo had his arm raised in the air, calling for the offside. Ernie Merrick still hasn't smiled. It's just ahead of the ball's helped through by Grant Brebner. He's definitely onside, but what about the first touch from Brebner? From Fred, sorry. That's what sets up the goal. The ball's definitely over the line as Costanzo tries to hook it away. Archie Thompson on the score sheet. What about the first touch from Fred? Archie Thompson onto the post. Melbourne take the lead.
Fred and Thompson, how many times have those two combined this season? It's goal number 11 of the campaign for Archie Thompson, and it's first blood to the victory in the grand final. Right on the 20-minute mark.
Well, in what has been a cage opening, as Ross Aloisi gets a yellow card for a challenge on Fred. He's not happy about it. Kevin Muscat gets involved. You'd have to say in the opening 20 minutes, Melbourne had made slightly the better start. They looked more dangerous. Aloisi, frustration. Comes in late on Fred. Studs went up, maybe a touch harsh for Aloisi. Mark Shield right there on the spot. And what about that first touch from Fred? Finding the pass to Archie Thompson. Wonderful stuff.
It's Ross Aloisi's fifth card of the season, and 3 of them have come against the victory. That's how intense this rivalry is. Aloisi helps on Alagic's throw. Thompson, that will be a foul. Well, he's been a live wire, hasn't he, Archie Thompson? Would you believe, on a day that's been so hot and humid, we've now got almost torrential rain inside Telstra Dome. Should grease up the surface a wee bit, though. Make the ball zip around. Fernando's touch. Too much on it though for Viet. This is Allsop. Very simple 1-2 with Fred. And this is where Melbourne are dangerous. Allsop running at pace. Fred on the outside. Fred in! Archie Thompson! Sensational goal for the victory! And they've doubled their money in the grand final.
What a wonderful piece of football. Again, it's down the right-hand side as Greg Owens gets caught forward. They're away, but what they do well is they're away with pace. Danny Allsop, the overlapping run from Fred. Archie Thompson, beautiful run to the near post. Look at Allsop, he holds it up, picks the right time. Had to be first-time pass from Fred, it was, and Archie Thompson with a left-footed finish this time. Wonderful stuff from Melbourne.
This is what it means on the victory bench. They know that even at this early stage, a 2-goal cushion. Well, they're starting dreaming about trophies and medals. Although, there's still no smile from the coach.
What's that left-hand side? You have to say, the suspension to Matthew Kemp has cost Adelaide in this first half. Gambler playing Greg Owens out there, a more attacking left back. And say Adam Van Dommel, who would have been much more defensive, because that's really where both goals have come from, more so the second one. But it was a quick counter-attack and executed with pace and precision. And again, the assist from Fred.
Nothing's coming off for Adelaide at the moment. This is Muscat. Now Thompson.
Well, look at the midfield there. See, they're just outnumbering. Most of the time it's Aloisi. Nathan Burns comes back, but it's too late.
Now Brebner's been caught very late, and Ross Aloisi, well, he's already been booked, and it goes from bad to worse for Adelaide United. They're 2-0 down, and now they've lost their captain for a second yellow.
Well, he's fired up, but it's a silly thing to do for a player of such great experience as John Kosmina. You can feel it slipping away as early as the 34th minute. Aloisi knows he's had a yellow card. He comes in late there on Brebner. I mean, it's not a simply dirty challenge, but it's enough. It's late.
It's a foolish challenge.
It's a foolish challenge, and a player of such experience in a big match like this, 2-0 down, you need your captain to keep his sang-froid. He doesn't. Adelaide go to 10, 2-0 down. It's a long way back.
And not for the first time this season. The man involved with Adelaide makes an early exit through the tunnel and has to walk the gauntlet of abuse from the Melbourne Victory fans.
Cosmina just reorganising his side. Fernando's playing up on his own now. Calvert has pretty much taken Aloisi's role in the base of, oh, if it is a diamond now, really, in midfield. I think it's just a flat four with Fernando up on his own. So Diego and Calvert in the midfield.
Travis Dodd, who's tripped it in field to try and get a sniff of the ball. Pantelides has gone with it. Stanzo. Diego's ball finding Nathan Birds.
It's too narrow, isn't it? Adelaide, you needed Nathan Birds maybe just to keep his width there. Everyone can come inside. Played into Melbourne's hands. That's where there were numbers inside.
Muscat. Oh, lovely ball from Muscat. Thompson again. Archie Thompson! 3-0! And maybe that will bring the championship to Melbourne. Archie Thompson has a hat-trick. He'll take the match ball and possibly Melbourne the trophy itself.
Well, it's a great finish in the end, but it's poor defending. Even with 10 men, they get caught square again. The danger is central, and I think they get stretched. He gets in between Valkanis and Greg Owens. It's a nice little ball in. He comes in. Calvert commits himself. He comes inside, finishes it with his left foot. Good finish. Here we see Fred again, the creator, comes back to Muscat. Archie Thompson makes it that run. Valkanis stays too wide. Calvert falls for the dummy, finishes it with his left foot, 3-0.
Well, Adelaide have simply been blown away, and isn't Archie Thompson enjoying his afternoon? As are they. 3 goals to 0, still 5 minutes to go before the break. Adelaide down to 10. It would surely take a miracle for those people dressed in red to be smiling come the end of the game.
Well, it's not going to happen, is it?
Matty Thompson at Newcastle. Damien Brown has been playing there for Central Coast. And of course, Steve Pantelides at Melbourne. As the half-time whistle blows at Telstra Dome, it's been Archie Thompson's half. It's been Melbourne's half. It's been a disaster for Adelaide United. They've got an absolute mountain to climb if they're to get back into this grand final. At the break at Telstra Dome, it's Melbourne Victory with one hand on the trophy. They lead Adelaide by 3 goals to 0. Confirmation of the scoreline. Melbourne Victory leading Adelaide by 3 goals to 0. I can tell you that Adelaide have made a change in the second half. It's the expected one as well. Aaron Golding is on and Greg Owens is off.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a happy grand final for Greg Owens. We know it's not his best position. He certainly was exposed on that side, and the gamble didn't pay off.
And Adelaide are exposed again here. Thompson looking for a fourth. It's back off the woodwork and over the top from Fred. And Daniel Beltrami, I can tell you, is screaming blue murder at his defenders.
Well, they come out second half and they get caught on the first Melbourne attack. Archie Thompson down the left-hand channel, so close to getting goal number 4 for not only himself but for Melbourne. Daniel Beltrami, the Adelaide keeper, absolutely filthy with his defence. That got caught square again.
Now Golding. Simon Story. Just too easy. Now Fred. Melbourne will break with pace. 4 on 3. Thompson onside. This could be a fourth for Archie Thompson. That's it, surely, for Melbourne. They're singing in the rain at the Dome, and the trophy is heading for the victory cabinet.
Well, Lance Costanzo thinks it's offside. It must have been close, but the problem is there's no pressure on the ball. You can't push up if there's no pressure on the ball. Fred's coming through in midfield. There they make a decision to stand, but there's no pressure on Fred. Archie Thompson makes a diagonal run, and I think he's level. I think he's onside. It's close. After that, he goes around Daniel Beltrami. What an individual performance from Archie Thompson. 4 goals in the grand final. Again, the creator is Fred, and the executor is Archie Thompson.
Well, wonderful reactions from the Melbourne bench, I can tell you. Less so from the Adelaide players, who are filthy, particularly with the linesman on the near side. And 2 yellow cards have been issued whilst you've been watching the replays and the celebrations from Archie Thompson. I have to say, on the replays, I thought they might have had a case for offside. But Costanzo and Valkanis have been booked. And it's just a horror show for the team in red tonight.
Well, they certainly got a case. I thought it was level. I'd like to look at it again. Valkanis is filthy as well. He's got a yellow card. But really, they're playing with fire. When you're pushing up and there's no pressure on the ball carrier, which was Fred, I don't think you can push up, Simon. I think you're playing a dangerous game.
Well, it's a moot point, and it's one that John Kosmina will no doubt want to debate at some stage in the future, but his dreams of his team winning a first A-League title are surely died at the Telstra Dome now. And, well, we talked about Matthew Kemp being missed in the first half for Adelaide, but the injury to Jason Spaniolo was just as big, if not bigger, blow for Adelaide. He's not fit at all, Jason Spaniolo, but at least he'll get 20 minutes. There's Matthew Kemp up in the stands alongside his coach, and Spaniolo gets his first action in a month. There is Spaniolo, second in the league's assist list. Now Gite. Oh, and it loops up and over. Theoklitos hits the bar, and it'll be a corner.
Well, how dramatic is that? Spaniolo, you rightfully mentioned, he's been missed at the last 3 weeks. Beautiful interplay, and what this means, Spaniolo comes onto the left side where he plays, gives him a better balance. Nathan Burns goes central where he prefers, and straight away they carve out a chance. Gite, beautiful little ball from Burns, good turn, deflection, gives him a corner.
Their first corner of the game in the 71st minute, which Nathan Burns will take. This is Aaron Golding. Needs a good delivery. Well, Canis is up there. Touched by Diego. Gite. Again, it's Melbourne who come away with the ball. Danny Allsop. Now Muscat. Robinson. Fred, Allsop darts towards the near post. Thompson! Well, the ball is just glued to his boots, and glued, it seems, to the back of the net. It's 5 for Archie Thompson and Melbourne.
Well, this game's going to a lot of places around the world. There might be a few clubs that are watching this performance from Archie Thompson. Wonderful play again from Fred. This time it's down the left-hand side. It's another assist. He gets a little bit luckier on this one. The build-up sort of lost its momentum. The ball went out to Robinson. Fred had already made a forward run. He's onside. There's a slight deflection. It comes to Archie Thompson on his left foot, dispatches it into the net. Here's Fred, makes the run, gets his head up. Look how he gets his head up. Great for youngsters watching. He knows exactly where Archie Thompson and Danny Allsop, must mention, who took people away at the near post. What an individual performance. 5 goals.
Even he can't believe it.
That is definitely a smile.
That's an early smile. I think maybe just his face is frozen in that particular configuration due to the wind tunnel behind him. Well, Archie Thompson, the man who holds, of course, the world record for 13 goals at international level. Australia against American Samoa back in 2001. And he's written another chapter tonight. Nobody's ever scored 5 in a grand final before. Individual or team.
That's absolutely incredible.
Now confirmation of the crowd figure, 55,436. It's another new record. Melbourne have been setting them on and off the park all season. The biggest crowd ever for a club football game in Australia. Not quite the stadium record, but it's a massive crowd nonetheless. And in less than 60 seconds, they will get their just reward. Maybe there's time for one final flourish. Sarkis, Christian Sarkis, that is perhaps the pick of the bunch. What a way to finish it at Telstra Dome. Brilliant. And it's 6 for the victory.
What a wonderful strike against the tired Adelaide defence, but take nothing away. And Andy Merrick is smiling. He's even getting a hug from his chairman, Jeff Lord. I guess that means his job's safe next season. But what about the goal from Sarkis? He's cut inside his Adelaide defence, tiring, backpedaling. Michael Valkanis. Here's Sarkis, picks up the ball. Good run from Robertson around the back. He checks inside, goes for the far post. Beltrami, no chance. That's a wonderful strike from the youngster. Cuts inside, knows exactly what he wants to do, and executes it perfectly.
Well, Adelaide have been smashed. And please, Mark Shield, put them out of their misery. And let the party begin for Melbourne. It's almost a full-blown laugh from Ernie Merrick. Now they can all smile. The final whistle blows. Victory is ours, proclaimed the banner made by the Blue and White Brigade. And now their premonition has come true. They've been the best off the field all season, and now they've proved it where it really matters. Melbourne, the football capital of Australia, and the champions of Australia. Well done to Ernie Merrick, well done to the players. They were sensational, their fans were sensational, and they can savour this moment.
Well, what can you say, 6-0, 6 goals without reply. You have to go back to the key points in the game. Melbourne were already ahead 2-0 when Ross Aloisi was given his marching orders. The red card changed the play. Of course, Melbourne went on in a remarkable individual performance from Archie Thompson. They were too quick, had too much power for Adelaide, who I felt seemed to be affected. Very hot day in Melbourne, 38 degrees, but affected by the 120 minutes from last week. Melbourne were just too good.
I present to you your champions, Melbourne victory!